What's up, everyone? This is Tech Trooper 64, and today we are going to be talking about our second Nintendo NX rumor that I talked about in the last video, and this one is a lot longer than the other one. So bear with me on this. This might be a 6-minute video, but to tell you the truth, there's something that I really want to go over, but these two rumors are from completely different sources, but get this, they're almost, if not the same. Just listen to what I'm saying in this rumor. They're almost the same. And what the rule is for rumors, that if a rumor is consistently coming up, it's more than likely true. So anyways, let's go over with it. So let's have a little bit of a backstory on who is leaking this information. Here's what it had to say. As the Nintendo NX's official announcement nears, most rumors peg it for a late April announcement sometime after the release of Star Fox Zero. We're receiving more and more leaks, and one of them was especially massive. Posted on Reddit, an art designer for what is purposely a Western AAA game for the NX, which is the one I talked about before, and decided to leak a lot of details about the Nintendo NX. He declined to reveal what game or even what kind of game he is allegedly working on, and on the whole, he decided to shy away from giving any hard specs that may end up exposing him. He still had a lot to say about the NX. The information about the Nintendo NX is coming via the development kit that these guys have. They're currently working on an original Western AAA exclusive for the NX, but their priority is to prepare and have some versions of multi-platform titles for the NX ready by its launch. The Nintendo NX development kit in question has been described as being a boring black box with a boxy controller and a number of ports. The NX seems to run a proprietary OS, which does not seem to be an Android fork, as was often rumored, accepts Blu-ray-sized Nintendo optical discs instead of cartridges, and is the best the developer can estimate, on track for an early 2017 release. The Nintendo NX is something that will probably delight core gamers worldwide. It is, in the developer's words, a response to everyone who has ever wished for a traditional Nintendo controller and console to go up against the PlayStation 4 and the Xbox One, with not much gimmicks, but of course some of Nintendo's quirks. The specs of the NX are that the Nintendo NX uses an ARM architecture. It is a little bit more powerful than the PS4, and that any game on PS4 will run on the NX with ease. That said, porting is a little bit harder than a simple copy and paste job because the NX is an ARM rather than an x86 architecture. Thankfully, most modern engines are flexible and intercompatible with x86 and ARM, so it doesn't take a whole lot of effort to get games running. The Nintendo NX also has 8 GB of GDDR5 RAM, which is the same RAM that's in a PS4. That said, the developer did say that a substantial amount of this could be reserved for the OS, like on the PS4, Xbox One, or even the Wii U. The developer kit comes with 1 terabyte hard drive on board, but the developer had pointed out that this could be just for the developer's version, however, that the final consumer version may not necessarily ship with that much storage space. Onward with the controller, the leaker pointed out that the recent leaks were obviously false. That said, he did credit them for getting some stuff right. For instance, the entire controller surface is a screen, and the shoulder buttons are scroll wheels that can be clicked. With that out of the way, the leaked controllers are the most controversial elements. The oval-shaped, the touch-only controls are false, and the NX controller does seem to be rectangular in shape and has a physical D-pad, physical shoulder buttons and triggers, physical face buttons, and 2 full-blown analog sticks as opposed to nubs or sliders. The controller has no physical start or select buttons. These show up as touch buttons contextually on the controller, and it has a physical home button. The controller surface is the screen, and the screen circles around the buttons, but not to the analog sticks. Their bases are opaque. It's an excellent piece of tech which allows persistent second screen functionality, as opposed to remote play streaming. Comparisons were drawn to the Dreamcast's VMU and second screen to play apps on smartphones. That said, while remote play is no longer the selling point, it is definitely possible on this new controller. Some really exciting applications come in the form of dragging icons under the physical buttons of the controller and remapping the functions in that way. The controller has a camera of its own, but possibly no speakers, but it does have a headphone jack. The controller has a gyroscope and accelerometer, and bringing it on par to the motion functionality of the PlayStation Vita, the DualShock 4, the Nintendo's own 3DS, or the Wii U gamepad. The touchscreen is a capacitive, not the resistive kind that would be used on the DS, 3DS, or Wii U. So it's a screen like the iPhone type screens that, it's glass and you can pinch and zoom and stuff. The controller is an independent unit with specs on par with a mid-tier smartphone, and it also has micro SD functionality. The screen on the controller is native 1080p, and the controller's battery life is unknown since it's hardwired to the consoles in the dev kit. The controller seems to be it. According to the developer, there is no NX handheld. It seems to be a gangland myth. The NX controller does not seem to be getting many independent games of its own, though it can get a second screen, apps, or mini games. So what is it? Admittedly, all of this sounds too good to be true. If these rumors are true, then the NX is a traditional console. It's more powerful than PS4, with mostly a normal controller without much in the way of gimmicks, but some unique functionality, very similar to how the PS4 and the DualShock 4. With easy intercompatibility with Xbox One and PS4 for porting purposes, 8 gigabytes of GDDR5 RAM, and 1 terabyte of storage space. It uses discs instead of cartridges, and it's set for 2017 release, although the developer here did acknowledge that it could release as early as December 2016. Now, there is another source. There is a whole bunch other part of the rumor, and I'll be going over that right now. So this is another leak from another guy that's completely different. The one I said just now is just pretty much summarizing the other rumor I talked about. But anyway, here's the other guy. The console is far more traditional than what Nintendo has been leading on people to believe. There will be a second controller screen, however, but from what I can gather, it works with the console, and it's more of a standalone device, and the main controller is slightly bulkier Pro Controller. Apparently, the screen controller has nothing to do with Nintendo Reach and Wii U stuff. Yeah, apparently the NX is called Nintendo Reach, apparently, according to this. No spec details whatsoever, apart from somewhere between a Xbox One and a PS4 that's powerful and affordable. The handheld and console share the same OS, and some games are shared. As per online, the only things that are being pushed is voice chat, cloud saves, and My Nintendo missions, which are pretty much like trophies and stuff on the Xbox and PlayStation. Wii U backwards compatibility seemingly locked behind the screen controller, so it seems if you don't have the screen controller, then you don't have Wii U backwards compatibility. I guess I could be reading this wrong, as he said that Wii U ports are happening. I'll post what he said directly. You need a handheld for Wii U settings, and there are 2 settings in the ports. There will be a new Animal Crossing game. The Legend of Zelda game for Wii U will be called Legend of Zelda Fields of Dawn. The NX version will be a slightly upgraded version of the Wii U version. And another game called Super Mario Underground uses the scrolling buttons for digging. Size of the handheld component is comparable to a bottom part of the 3DS XL. It will be marketed as a full immersion display and has some form of head tracking. Retro Studios is making a game called Nintendo All-Stars as an action RPG. I'm betting this is where the point everybody's going to be calling bullshit. Not necessarily for it's sounding bullshit, but it not wanting to believe it as well. How about some salt, though? It's Nintendo to take on Skylanders, scheduled for next year. Now, the real innovation or hook that's going to be coming along with the portable launches, split marketing, casual for the handheld and core for the console, which allows you to have the console and the handheld. So basically, yeah, it comes with a controller, a console, 5 virtual console games, and there is a game that comes with it bundled called MiiWare. From what I understand, it does use carts, but it seems to be used for the handheld side of things to play games on the console. Nintendo Reach is the name and will be launching for $350. No real gimmicks associated with the console apart from the console's handheld component and its interplayability. The games, how do the games look on the handheld? They look like jaggy Wii U games, and it probably has a 540p screen. There will be a late April event to announce the Nintendo NX in full. Wow, that was a mouthful. So, as you could probably tell, this is pretty interesting to see that the 2 rumors, both sites, there's 2 things that are really relative about both rumors that they repeated. One, that the NX's controller looks like a bottom half of a 3DS XL. That's something I think that's worth pointing out. Another thing is how that the NX will be able to play Wii U games, or it will be able to have like the remote play functionality, but it won't be like the selling point. So I find that really interesting. But anyways, this is almost a 10-minute video. I'm sorry for taking up your time. But what do you guys think about this Nintendo NX rumor and about both of these Nintendo NX rumors? Do you think that they're true? Do you think they're too good to be true? Or do you think that it'll be awesome if this happens? Don't forget to rate, comment, favorite, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.